Broadcasting from Slough. Streaming around the world.
This is Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio. Oh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
The podcast.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Hello, welcome to Drive Time Podcast episode 101. It's like Christmas, you know, you spend ages and ages building up to Christmas Day, and then on Boxing Day you realise it's all over. That's what episode 100 was for me, but here we go with episode 101 of the Best Bits podcast from Atom Radio's Drive Time. And this is Mark Denholm with you, keeping you company for however long you choose to listen to this podcast, hopefully all the way. That'd be good. On the way, we have mealtime sorted for people up north. We have awkward tan lines, plus an awkward dilemma. We have a very expensive meal out, potential hangover cure, and old-fashioned manhunting. All that and more on the Atom Radio Drive Time podcast coming up over the next few moments. Thank you so much indeed for checking it out. And at the end, I'll tell you how to subscribe as well. Here we go with episode 101.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
I've got this debate that I'm going to do for you, but first, I just want to say that I've got a packet of Rolos on my desk, and they are so tiny. When did they shrink? Like the number of Rolos in a pack. When did they shrink? Granted, it's a multi-pack tube not for resale. But I mean, this is ridiculous. Can you imagine if you've got more than 2 kids, you wouldn't be able to share that? It's horrible. Anyway, this debate, which cropped up on Twitter yesterday, about tea. And obviously, if you come from up north, you may very well incorrectly call the evening meal tea. All right, so you have, if you come from up north, then you have breakfast, dinner, and tea. And you have dinner at lunchtime. You see? You have dinner at lunchtime. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am solving this by reading the definition of tea. Okay, here we go. Definition of tea. A drink made by pouring hot water onto dried and cut leaves and sometimes flowers. That doesn't mention anything about a knife and a fork and a plate, does it? So I think we've solved it. Tea is a drink. It goes in a cup. Dinner is the evening meal. It goes on a plate. Normally I would say email me and tell me what you think, but on this occasion, you can email if you want. I do know that I am 100% right. So there we are. If you are from up north, hello to you. And here we are, heading towards dinner time.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Online around the world, the future of radio we are. I'll tell you that. Thank you so much for checking us out anyway. Now, as if like giving the world coronavirus COVID-19 isn't enough, a restaurant in China has now been forced to apologize after creating what in 2020 certainly would be a faux pas. This restaurant has a controversial policy of asking diners to weigh themselves before entry in an overzealous response to a new national campaign against food waste. Now, obviously, you would imagine the bigger ones would leave less waste. The beef restaurant, however, in the central city of Changsha was heavily criticized on Chinese social media, which is not as open as free as the rest of the world. As soon as it unveiled its policy on Friday, customers were asked to stand on scales, scan their data into an app that then recommended food choices based on their weight and the dish's calorific content. Wow, that is quite rude, isn't it? Can we have a table for two? Just hop on there, please, and see if you're see what your weight is first. Thank you very much. It's a bit controversial, isn't it, really? Like me, if I go out for dinner, I like to choose based on things that I like, rather than things that the restaurant tells me are the right calorific count for me. That's just my personal opinion.
Mark Denholm.
From the news, face masks must now be worn in Tenerife, even in Lanzarote. I've just made one new destination there by merging them. On the beach. Also, pool parties are banned in Ibiza and Mallorca as Spain battles surging COVID-19 cases. I'm just thinking of face coverings on Tenerife and Lanzarote. Imagine the TANS line. That's a horrible thought, isn't it? Imagine that. You go on holiday. What sort of a tan line are you going to come back with? They talk about panda eyes. It's going to be totally the opposite to panda eyes, isn't it? Also in the news, adverts for sausage rolls, Marmite and ketchup will be banned from daytime TV under the government's new obesity crackdown. All food with more than 1.5 grams of salt are at risk of being barred from the TV until 9 p.m. Why? Why can't obese people just take responsibility?
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
And I'm in a dilemma. A friend of mine has recently posted a picture on Instagram. They are, from this picture, at their heaviest ever, at 16 stone. And when I first knew them, about, let's say, 13 years ago, well, probably more than that, maybe 15 years ago, they were 6.5 stone. And I may have mentioned it before, I've lost a lot of weight, no idea why, cannot put it back on no matter what I do. Do I ask the friend, hey, how are you? How exactly have you gained 10 stone? I mean, I don't want to gain 10 stone, I'll be happy with half of that. But how do you ask the friend that, though? That's the important question, isn't it? It is a dilemma, and that's what I'm stuck in.
Yeah! Mark Denham. AtomRadio.co.uk
4:19. Hello, if you just got online, this is Mark with you from 3 until 7, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk. 3 friends travelled 200 miles for a curry. Unbelievable. It took the trio less than an hour each way, flying at speeds of up to 120 miles per hour or 100 knots at 5,000 feet. One of them owns a private plane. They left the Isle of Wight and they travelled to Lahore Spice near Harrow in northwest London. 200 miles for a curry and then 200 miles back again, imagine. I don't know how much it costs to fuel a small plane, but imagine how much that curry worked out costing.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
These things I was going to tell you about, these you only got one job things. Some of them are absolutely brilliant. Some of them are just, I think, set up, if I'm honest. Like there's one where a lady hired a tree surgeon to come and chop down a tree, and he did. However, it went through her window because he had no control over the tree. There's another person whose job it was to keep an electronic sign outside a casino up to date, and it shows the shortcut to the sign folder on the Windows desktop. But the one that I absolutely love is, you get these danger signs. This is believed to be in the USA. You get these signs that say, warning, danger. This one says danger due to, and it has a box that you can write in the reason. It says, danger due to danger. Brilliant.
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk
It is Mark with you here till 7 tonight, on the way after 7, the Friday night party. But before that, it's all about the 80s in Happy Hour tonight. All 80s Happy Hour on with you from 6 p.m. tonight. Officers on the Isle of Wight are appealing for witnesses after 2 delinquent goats hijacked a police car in broad daylight. The 2 goats were pictured laughing in the face of the law as they were stood atop the vehicle near Newport, and this happened on Wednesday. Police have been called to the area after an unexploded World War II bomb was discovered. However, when they then returned to their car, they found the goats standing on top of them. This just makes me think of that lady that was done for standing on top of an ambulance.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
It's not that I don't want to dance, it's more that I can't, if I'm honest. As a DJ, I've always been able to identify beats and I can mix music to beats perfectly. I just can't create that. Can't change that into actual dance moves that don't just make me look like I'm having some form of fit or convulsion. It's worrying, isn't it?
Mark Denham on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
I'm thinking actually, this pill, which apparently can reduce hangovers for as little as 15p, contains a chemical called L-cysteine, one of the many amino acids already present in the body and also used to extend the shelf life of bread. Does that mean that if you are going to go out and have a drink, and I don't know whether you do this before or not, does that mean that if you eat a load of bread, you'll be okay and you won't get a hangover? Like if this chemical is in the bread, maybe if you eat a load of bread, because I don't know what the chemical actually is called, what the drug is, it'll work.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
This is Atom Radio, online 24 hours a day, all around the world, streaming from Slough in the United Kingdom, playing the music you want to hear, playing it loud, playing it proud, and everyone is a winner. A 1958 magazine article has gone viral. This is a list of ways to find a husband. People have called it hilarious and shocking. It was originally published in a magazine called McCall's, which was an American magazine and is no longer. It was then shared onto Facebook and has recently resurfaced and gone viral. Shared by somebody called Jane Lavender on Twitter, who points out that numbers 17, 24, 30 and 40 are simply incredible. Number 17, be friendly to ugly men. Handsome is as handsome does. Number 24, that was 17. Number 24, don't be afraid to associate with more attractive girls. They may have some leftovers. I'm loving this so far. Number 30, learn to paint. Set up an easel outside an engineering school. Really? And then number 40, which is handpicked, of course, by Jane. Stand in a corner and cry softly. Chances are that he'll come out and find out what's wrong. Is that really how ladies got husbands in 1958? Seriously? I'm just surprised by this, if I'm honest. There are some other ones in this list as well. This is from 1958, so I think things have changed a little bit, haven't they, since 1958? I can't see anybody hoping to attract a husband in 2020 by setting up an easel outside an engineering workshop. Never going to happen.
atomradio.co.uk.
Oh, now come on. Like any of that would be relevant in 2020. How to attract a husband. Don't see any of that on Tinder, do you? You know, when you go scrolling on Tinder, you don't see anybody that says, I do like to set up an easel outside an engineering workshop. I find that works for me. It's not going to be listed in hobbies, is it? Maybe that should have been left in 1858. Never mind 1958. I don't know. Episode 101 of the Atom Radio Drive Time podcast is a wrap. Thank you so much for checking this out. Don't forget you can check the show out live Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk. Also on your mobile via TuneIn. It's also on iTunes Radio and on your smart speaker as well. We have you covered Monday to Friday, 3 until 7, online with the live show, and then we'll do episode 102 of the podcast next week. As long as I can find some actual best bits to share, that's always the good thing. Thank you as always. Keep yourself well, keep yourself safe, and I'll see you next week for another podcast or live for the show on Monday.
Atom Radio. Playing the music you want to hear.
Check out the show back on Monday on atomradio.co.uk, and don't forget you can subscribe on iTunes, on Spotify and on Google as well. Keep yourself well.
Atom